It's been a promising start to the 2024 growing season in Saskatchewan with plenty of rain and sunshine. Our Thomas Wildman has more with this week's crop report.
Today I'm happy to be once again joined by Megan Ross, the Crops Extension Specialist for the Government of Saskatchewan, and she is here today to give us this week's edition of the Crop Report. And so thank you so much for being with me today, Megan.
Thanks for having me.
Last week we talked a lot about how seeding had begun across Saskatchewan. It was a little bit behind the usual 5-year average. Have we seen a really big jump to get back closer to that usual average this week?
Yeah, producers have made substantial progress in seeding over the last week. Seeding is currently at 32% complete in the province. This is up 20% from last week's reported seeding progress percentage.
And Megan, what really drove this huge jump that we saw this week?
Producers have had some good seeding conditions across the province. Had a couple rain delays, but were able to get back into the fields fairly quickly. So yeah, they've been having some good conditions to seed into, then that's really speeded up progress across the province.
And now we'll focus on Lloydminster and the Northwest region as a whole. We were a little bit behind the usual 5-year average for seeding. Have we seen a big jump as well over this past week?
Yeah, so the Northwest region is up to about 33%, and they were at about 8% last week. So quite a big jump within your Northwest region for sure.
And Megan, how do we compare to previous years with the amount of seeding that's been done, but we've also got a good amount of moisture, and how that outlook is looking for the growing season of 2024?
Yeah, for sure. So with the current percentage of 33% seeded within the Northwest region, this does fall below the 5-year average that we are typically seeing within the region of 55%. But that being said, those were some years that were under some drier conditions. We've had a little bit of moisture, which has slowed some progression. But ultimately, with the dry conditions that we've had in past years, as well as early in the spring, the rain delays have been welcome for the majority of producers, just as we get into some better conditions for crops to go into.
And finally, Megan, is there anything else you would like to highlight in this week's crop report?
Hoping that guys continue to have some good seeding conditions going forward. And if they have any questions, we welcome them to call into our Agriculture Knowledge Center. The phone number is 1-866-457-2377, and we have a variety of specialists that can answer any questions that they may have.
Thank you so much for all the information, Megan, and we definitely look forward to talking to you again about the next crop report.
Thanks for having me.
Callum Hawker joins me now with the weather. And Callum, the wet and cool conditions were not really ideal for a lot of long weekend activities, but definitely welcome for people fighting the wildfires and for farmers.
Yeah, no, you kind of said it perfectly there, Leanne. It was pretty cold all weekend, a lot of rain, a lot of moisture. But like you said, for golf courses, farmers, crop producers, great time. We were kind of in desperate need of some water and some moisture around here. So, definitely we'll get a lot more green in the next couple of weeks here. But currently, not a terrible day here in Lloydminster. It was a lot more sunny earlier on throughout the day, but in later hours, we did see some rain actually for about an hour around 1 p.m. Currently, it's at that 10-degree mark with some cloud coverage coming in. Wind chills only at 8 with only the 15-kilometer winds coming through. So, we know it can get very windy here. But at least it's not very super windy today because, it really hasn't been all too warm here in the border city. But looking across Alberta and Saskatchewan, 12 in Lac La Biche, Bonnyville, St. Paul, and Vegreville, and Provost as well down there. Mar, Wayne, and Vermilion sitting at 11, and Wainwright and Edmonton at 13. So everywhere here on the Alberta side, looking, pretty steady throughout all these cities. And then as we look into Saskatchewan here, Isle La Crosse at 10 degrees, Pierceland at 12, Green Lake and Meadow Lake both at 11, St. Walburg at 10 degrees, while Maidstone and Macklin are at 12, and North Battleford is at that comfortable 10-degree mark as well. And as we look tonight in North Battleford, a low of 2 degrees, partly cloudy, and some showers will be coming in. It's only a 40% chance of precipitation, but expect some rainfall out in North Battleford tonight. And then as we look at the forecast for tomorrow, a high of 11, so we'll get a tad bit warmer there, but you know, a lot more showers coming in throughout the week and only 15-kilometer-an-hour winds, so not too windy out in North Battleford tomorrow. Tonight in Cold Lake, a low of 5 degrees, no rain, but should be very cloudy throughout there. 11-kilometer-an-hour winds going through Cold Lake tonight. And then tomorrow, the clouds will start to clear out, mostly sunny throughout the day with a high of 11. And then tonight here in Lloydminster, low of 3, and those showers should be coming back. So a little bit more moisture here tonight in the border city. And then tomorrow's forecast here, 6 a.m. your wake up time, mostly sunny. We are going to get some showers throughout the day. Expect them at around noontime. 6 p.m. will be cloudy and a high of 9, while midnight will drop down to 4 degrees. And then as we look at the 3-day forecast here, like I said, this rain will come in throughout the rest of the week. Wednesday, a high of 10 and a low of 2. 84% chance of rain on Wednesday. Thursday, again, another 84% chance of rain with a high of 10 and a low of 2. And then on Friday, hopefully a little bit of sun poking out throughout the day, but should be rainy with a high of 13 and a low of 2. That's all for our first look at our weather forecast. We'll have some more news with Leanne after the break.
I am joined by Shamil Sarkaga and Donna Astley-Reed with Lloydminster Sexual Assault Services today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yes.
And we are talking about a new campaign for the month of May in Lloydminster. Please tell me what it is.
So May is Sexual Violence Awareness Month, and it was done by the government of Alberta to recognize that. And it's just bringing awareness of sexual violence within our community and all across the province as well, and hopefully across the country.
So can you tell me specifically about this campaign? What is it, and what will people be seeing?
So we actually started with a coaster idea last year, and then we kind of built upon that, and we're saying, oh yeah, this would be a great messaging thing because alcohol is actually contributes 75% of sexual assaults. So our goal is to disperse this out to the community, and we thought coasters would be great because people see it and people use it. And so those coasters, we designed it to have some questions in there or messages that would spark some conversation at least. And then on the other side, there would be resources and some education and awareness in it as well. So what we have done is we have dispersed coasters. We approach restaurants or establishments that would like to carry our coasters with their consent, of course, and see where that goes. And if they said yes, and if they agreed to put our coasters in, then that's where you'll be able to see those coasters. And they're actually really clever designs too, which was a lot of work from the staff of Alsace.
What are the statistics for sexual violence against women in Alberta?
So in Alberta, there's actually a study that was done by the Alberta Association of Sexual Assault Services back in 2020. And what they found is that statistics have gone a little bit higher since the last time they did this. And they found that 2 in 3 women and 1 in 3 men have experienced sexual violence at some point in their life. And also that 1 in 2 girls and 1 in 4 boys have experienced sexual abuse too. So I believe it's 1.8 million Albertans that have been affected by sexual violence. And when we say sexual violence, that is an umbrella term when it comes to sexual harassment, sexual assault, and sexual abuse. The reason why not a lot of, we don't have a lot of reported, it's a little bit lower of the statistics reported, is because, again, there's still stigma. And then there's also these beliefs that we've been ingrained that, men are not supposed to be, men are strong and men boys shouldn't be crying, and there's still that believability piece that no one's going to believe you because you're a man, you're supposed to be strong. So there's still those things that hinder or just prevent some people to come and share their stories, and for us to be able to bring this in saying that you are not alone and know this, we believe you. I think it gives them a message of saying, you know, it's okay, you can do this. We don't have to talk about this, but if you do need support, because we have the statistics to say that men or boys can be sexually abused or assaulted, then yes, it sends that message of hope at least, and healing for them as well.
What type of work needs to be done surrounding the trauma that people do experience? What sorts of help do they need?
Definitely first off, for our center standpoint, the trauma-informed approach, we have all survivors of sexual violence, right from young age all the way till however old you can think of to be. So, we do have, and on our coasters, there are resources that our phone number, Lloydminster Sexual Assault Services, of course, the RCMP, reaching out to the RCMP if you would like to go through the reporting process. You can definitely reach out to the RCMP. Alberta has a one line for sexual violence that folks can call, and that can be anonymous as well if they would like it to be, just to get some supports. And then Central Alberta has Central Alberta Sexual Assault Support Center. So all those numbers are on the coasters that are out in the different organizations right now.
With this type of assault and sexual violence, I guess in general, do they ever heal from it, or is it a lifelong, a lifelong thing that they have to deal with?
Our center has help, hope, and healing. So healing is possible. Healing is out there, and that looks different for every single. What does healing mean to them? That's going to look different for every single person.
When it comes to the just who gets affected by it too, it's not just the individual who has experienced sexual abuse or sexual assault, it's also the people that supports them. So that's why at the center, it's not just the individual that we support, it's also the people supporting them.
Okay, so I guess I had one other question with regard to consent. Obviously, the coasters discuss that as well, but at what age do you think it's appropriate for the idea, the concept of consent to be taught to children?
I love this question so much. I love answering this because it's as young as you can. It's not just always going to be about dating and sex right away when it comes to consent. It actually starts from body autonomy as young as 18 months old. That's how we teach on our workshops for parents here, is that you can teach them all about body autonomy and what is okay and not okay for them, and for them to develop that into friendships and develop that into the schools and see how they interact with other people, and always checking in on other people too, on their friends or on their siblings. So consent, we actually could practice it every single day. We just don't have it in a piece of paper where you have to sign it and everything. So we always try and encourage, you know what, let's be mindful about ourselves and what is okay, not okay, but at the same time, think about other people too. Think about your parents or your siblings or your friends. Are they okay as well with what you did? Did you ask for permission to play with them in the playground or share a snack, all the way into dating and relationships, that you can say, did you have consent when you went out on that date or when you wanted to do something with your friends too? So it's never, I always say it's never too late, and you can start it as early as possible.
We were going to talk about what facilities or what locations will you find those special coasters in?
We went to a variety of places, and folks can see our coasters at OJ's, Bennigan's Irish Pub, Neighbors Pub, the Proper Eats and Treats, the Canadian Brew House, Fourth Meridian, and at the Sticks until the end of May.
Thank you so much for shedding more light on the issue. And is there anything that you'd like to mention that I maybe did not ask?
We would like to highlight that along with the coasters, we do, Sobeys is also selling cupcakes for Sexual Violence Prevention Month. They have a poster set up with some different statistics and information on sexual violence and Sexual Violence Awareness Month. So folks can head to Sobeys and purchase some cupcakes and look at the poster and get some information there as well.
Okay, excellent. Well, again, thank you all for your time, and I appreciate you shedding more light on the situation for me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm joined by Mark Blanchette, the owner and an artist at Marked Up Tattoos, talking about the Border City Tattoo Expo that's coming up right around the corner. Mark, thanks so much for your time today. How's it going?
Yeah, good. No, thanks for having me.
So tell me a bit about the Tattoo Expo for someone who hasn't gone.
So it's held May 24th to the 26th at the Centennial Civic Center. You can just show up at the door. Tickets are $20 for a day pass or $50 for the weekend. When you come in, there'll be food there, vendors there selling, some local vendors upstairs. Downstairs on the main floor, ice surface, we'll have over 100 tattoo artists, I believe, from all over Canada, from Kamloops, Regina, all from all over. There's lots of, like I said, different vendors that are coming, selling different things and jewelry, and there's a lot of cool things happening. We'll have some live contests going on. I believe we're doing a hot dog eating contest and some things. We'll have lots of door prizes and yeah, so the competitions on stage, like tattoo competitions. There'll be lots to see.
Cool. So a lot of things for the community to try out and take part in. I know it's right around the corner, Mark, but are you still looking for vendors at all?
So like I believe upstairs we could use a couple of vendors yet, local vendors. But for the main floor ice surface, we're pretty much stuffed back, like yeah, it's been really a really great response. I think everyone feels the small town feel when they come here, so I think that's important to the artist, that you treat them well and you treat the people that are coming well, and everyone will want to continue to come back.
And I know this was a big hit in the city last year. How many years have you guys been putting this on for?
So last year was our first year, so this will be our second annual year. The first year turned out, pretty good. We had a decent response with the artists that came and feedback. So yeah, we thought we'd do it again and see how it works out.
And is there anything you guys are adding or changing from last year?
So last year, I would say, like, for the first year, it ran pretty smoothly. I think the only thing that we're going to be really adding is some of the contests to involve some of the crowd and that kind of thing. We have the same kind of tattoo competition as last year, but I think it was really, really well set up last year, and I like to kind of run with that. Mikey Dubs was our MC. He did a phenomenal job. Maz Entertainment set up a massive TV that was just unreal. The artists were so happy with the live feed that was going on. I think if we just stick to what we've done in the past and do it well, and just add some things, but don't crowd it too much,
And lastly, Mark, is there anything you want people to know about the Tattoo Expo on May 24th to May 26th here?
Yeah, no, just come out there. Like I said, there'll be a lot of different artists doing a lot of different styles. There's lots of different art to buy. You don't have to get a tattoo. You can get a tattoo. Lots of artists have flash available that you can come up and choose what you want, or maybe get someone to custom draw you something, so come check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks so much for your time today, Mark. I'm sure you're going to have a great weekend and a huge turnout. So thanks again.
No, thank you. Take care.
And that is all the news that we have for you this evening. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a good night.